I got no drip in my pocket. Must have forgot it, or maybe I already lost it. Don't got enough to go cop it. I'm about to take off like a rocket. Houston, we might have a problem, but that don't mean money will solve them. No, that don't mean money will solve them. Woke up dreaming other commas, and I got $100 in my wallet.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Wealth Society. I have two guests today, awesome creatives. I have Andy here, and I have Rusty J. Gates.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, so let's get right into
honor.
it. I prepared a couple of questions. Where's my phone? Right here. Okay. The first question is, what's your story? How did you start? Why did you get into this business? Boom.
You go first.
Story. I have had a number of different careers. I started out doing church work and then got into corporate search. That was still church work related, and then realized I was making no money and wanted to actually like provide for my family. My wife and I had 2 kids, and they're expensive. And so I ended up getting into real estate, got my real estate license, did that for 4 to 5 years and did well, made a lot of money in it. Just found out I hated real estate. Like, it just sucks.
Me too.
As an industry. There's a lot of money to be made, and it doesn't take a lot to get into it. And so it attracts a lot of people that are like, well, I just want to make a quick buck. And I did all the things that I was supposed to do in real estate. I did all the door knocking, the cold calling, all the lead gen stuff we're supposed to do, and just found like this is ineffective. This is a bad way to run a business. And I found that if I spent 3 hours door knocking, I'd talk to like one person for 5 minutes, get the cops called on me twice. It was like a bad use of a time. I was getting like 5 minutes of attention, right? But if I spent 3 hours working on one video, let's say 30 seconds long, and 100 people watched that 30-second video, that's 50 minutes of attention. That's 10 times more attention than like door knocking. Yeah. And so I just started making videos.
How old were you when you started?
Real estate or videos?
Both.
I started real estate in 2018.
Damn, so. Rusty's age reveal coming.
Yeah. So I was probably 30-ish.
When you started doing videos?
Yeah. And I mean, like, I've been making videos since like Facebook and MySpace and all that stuff, but didn't start like getting serious about it until it was a part of my business. And then I realized, like, I was like, oh, this is way more fun. I like doing this. And I was getting business, and then made some videos for some friends, some like little commercials for people who had small businesses, and just did it for free. Like, I didn't even ask. Just like took their product, started making product videos, and then that led to one thing, then another, and another.
You were still an agent at this time while
I mean, I technically still have my license, but I'm full-time video. The media company is everything.
That's awesome.
Gang.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
All right, tell us about you, Andy. Tell us a little bit about your story.
My journey has been a little bit longer than that, but I mean, I wouldn't say as successful as Rusty.
No, it's different.
It's totally different. We have like different fields and stuff like that. But my earliest memory of, picking up a camera and doing any type of video stuff was back in 2009, 2010. I was like in middle school. I learned how to jailbreak an iPod Touch. Like, my mom got me one for Christmas, and the first thing I'm like, okay, well, we don't have the money to be buying all these paid apps, so how do I do it for free? Like, there were like tutorials on YouTube, like early YouTube, and then I was like, oh, cool. So I learned how to do that. Kind of like did it for my friends in middle school.
He's shaking his head.
Charged them like $5-10. I was like, cool. Like, let me get you all the games and stuff like that.
Hustler from the beginning.
And then it was just cool. Then I learned how to like. I went to Best Buy. I remember specifically went to go buy a camcorder. It was a little Sony Handycam. And then I was trying to see, like, zooming it into the screen, how clear it would be on the screen, because like I was gonna make those tutorials. But so then I started doing that. I made tutorials on how to jailbreak, how to get free games, and then I was doing like app reviews and stuff, like game reviews and stuff like that. Eventually that kind of like got me a little traction. I started reaching out to like companies to get like free cases and accessories and stuff like that. So that was like a little 2-year stint. Did that kind of like early influencer type
How old
stuff.
were you?
I was in 6th grade. So like, I think
he was
like
a child,
like 13, 14.
So when did you get into like, all right, let me do this for companies or people?
And then, so then like, finished out middle school after I stopped, because I was like, I don't have money to keep buying new phones that come out every year or whatever. So I was like, all right, let me take a pause on that. High school, I got into this media program, which was called CBTV. And long story short, I was in that all throughout high school, like middle of ninth grade, all the years of 10th, 11th, 12th. And that was like
Where you
a
learned?
class every single day. We had a lab, we had like all the camera equipment and stuff like that. And
That's
we were
awesome.
making like shows for the school that would watch it in homeroom every Friday. So it was a class of like about 15 to 20 students. And then, you know, we have like all this gear. We were making skits, we were covering sports, we were covering, you know, like announcements and stuff like that. And it was just a fun way to be creative with a bunch of friends that are like, you know, have a common goal.
That's awesome.
And did that, and I loved it. Like I went to, I pretty much like learned how to shoot, edit, and pretty
There,
much like
in high school.
devote, you know, all this time in learning. And I want to give credit to that program because like I don't know where I would be without them, because
Wow.
you know, like if I went to high school and didn't have that option, you know, like it would probably be more like education focused. But like myself, I was like more of a creative. So
I saw you got your degree.
Yeah.
And then you posted. I saw. So, oh wait. So for the people who don't know, I met these guys on social media. I started checking them out, their work, and I was, oh yeah, these guys are knowledgeable and they know a lot of things. And then I saw that he posted something about his degree. He was like 4 years
Yeah.
college. I
So,
didn't
yeah.
learn nothing.
So like
So how did you see there was a market for doing
so
this?
like after high school, you know, like 4 years of doing this, I went to Texas Tech University, and I'm like the only boy in the
Guns
family.
up, right? Is that
Guns
what they
up,
say?
baby. Yes. And then so like I really didn't have a choice but to go to college.
Yeah.
And it was like the first, like trying to find my major. I'm like, what's gonna make me money? So like I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for engineering, you know. And I was like, I don't know anything about engineering or like science. Like I suck at that. Like I was more of like creative,
bro.
and I knew math, you know. And then so, and business and stuff like that. So like I was hustling, like, you know, like
Yeah.
during high school, I kind of like started flipping sneakers and stuff like that, and that kind of like provided some, you know, tuition money going into college, because I didn't want to like, you know,
Yeah,
take
yeah.
out a bunch of loans and stuff like that. So
What happened after like you finished college? Like you're
so
oh
like
shit. Oh, what
so
am I
like
supposed
I
to do
didn't
with
do
this?
like I had like a miserable time in college, you know. Like I
bet.
I took on some editing jobs and stuff, and it wasn't until senior year of college where I started doing like family photos and like senior portraits and stuff like that, where I'm like, oh, I could charge like, you know, 100 150 for like a shoot. And I'm like, oh cool, like that's lunch money, you know, like that's a bit more income than my little side jobs.
So little
from
by little,
school.
you started doing
Yeah,
this.
so then I was like, okay, so like I could charge for this. And then I graduated college. I went to Dallas right after. Didn't come back to Houston yet. I went to Dallas right after. Got a job in cybersecurity. Literally like 9 to 5 office desk. And then, you know, I quickly figured out that I didn't like it. Like quickly, like
No,
within
yeah, I
like the
bet.
past few months. I was like trying to be optimistic. I'm like, okay, cool. This is my life right now. Like I'm an adult. Like, you know, I got to do
Nope.
what I got to do. Like this is what my parents wanted for me, you
Yeah.
know. So I was trying to do that fulfillment. But then that year I was like, man, like I really miss creating and stuff like that. So I sold all my Canon stuff because I was like, I wanted to start doing videos because that was my original love.
How old are you at this time? 25,
Like
4?
21, 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Just graduated college. And then so I got my Sony A7 III, and then I just started doing like little random videos, like event recaps that I get invited to, just kind of like for fun.
That's how you
and then
started.
like taking pictures with friends and stuff like that. Nothing too serious. Did a few vlogs and stuff just to keep myself
Yeah, yeah.
creating, you know, like while I was working my corporate job. Then I finished up corporate, and then I left Dallas, came back to Houston, and then I was kind of like in a iffy situation, not sure where like what I was gonna do. I just wanted to be back home. Like I was gone for 5 years. I want to go back home. And then I started working at the Apple store just to get some like income. It was like
I've seen that. Yeah.
nothing like what my salary was like doing full-time corporate, right?
You were working Apple and doing videography. And
Yeah, and then like my friend Nick, and he was connected with Katie Day, and pretty much like he was doing a few like house tours for her, but he was moving away to college
that's how y'all got
in
connected.
California, and he was like, hey, she's looking for somebody, you want to have this
boom.
opportunity. And I was like, okay, cool, like I at least know how to put videos together, shoot very like decent.
Yeah.
And but you know, like it was just kind of like the end of 2019.
How did you meet? How did y'all meet?
So like after I started my career with Katie, like
Yeah.
Katie started doing like all types of content, and then I guess like it grabbed the attention of like, you know, like more realtors and stuff like that. And then this is where Rusty comes in.
Yeah, I mean, Andy paved the way for, and no, Andy and Katie were not the first anywhere to do their style of video, but they like set the bar here in Houston for Houston realtors and how they need to show up on video. And that was Andy and Katie together.
It's awesome.
And so they paved that path. And then there were just a wave of people that wanted to catch up. And one of Katie's good friends was my best client. So like Katie kind of gave him the push to get where you are today. Would you say that's true?
Yeah.
And similarly, Paige Bowman is a mortgage lender here, so real estate world. And she basically did the same thing. She basically bankrolled Rusty Gates Media because she was like, I need to show up on content. I'm going to do it consistently. I'm going to hire you every month.
Oh, wow.
A lot of times, multiple times a month. And was just really cool about whenever I'd have to be like, hey, there's a lot of work. I'm going to have to charge you more money. And she was like, sure. And so it was really like us just kind of keeping up with what they were already creating and then trying to make it our own, find their own voice.
They have a whole team.
And then, and then that's what I specialize in. So
awesome.
Annie and I think we have a lot of overlap both in clients and in some of the work that we do. But then there's like this divergence of
he does his thing.
Yeah, I tell everyone I think Andy's a better videographer, a better editor than I am.
He does dope. Yeah, I've seen his dope work, bro.
Yeah, man. No, it's so cool, and I think he's really an artist and a creative, and I think that he's going to go far doing that. For me, I go, no. I don't care about the art of it. I don't care about the creativity of it. My goal is all around like coaching business owners and entrepreneurs to sound like intelligent thought leaders in their respective field.
That's awesome.
So where like I go, my videos are really actually simple. They're very simple. They're straightforward, but the value I provide to my clients is like the coaching and this like the direction. And that's where I'm making my money. So there's like overlap, but it's
there's
different.
also like a big difference in like lifestyle and age gap right now.
Yeah, I'm old
because like he has children and like
that's awesome.
So he has to provide for a family. So like all respects to what he does because like it pioneers, it just expands the market in Houston and like all over where like this type of video style is needed and necessary in like the fields. And but like to his respect, like I have more time to like try different things, like mess
creative,
up, fail, and like take risk where we're not in the same position, but like
that makes sense.
Yeah, but like that being said, like I feel like there's room to win for everybody in like all different
100%.
types of aspects. So like
the market's supposed to grow to 10
like social
10 billion
media has changed the game. Like back in the day, like whenever I was doing photography, I was like trying to pitch videos and stuff like that, but nobody really saw the value. They just went like, oh, let me get like some beautiful pictures and stuff. Like that's cool, but like as business owners, you got to always constantly evolve, especially nowadays. Like everybody needs all the content. And there's only so much people
that can provide that content.
That can provide that content. That's true. And like the style that they want it and stuff.
Hey,
like
so going, let's do like a 10-minute 10 questions type of thing.
Okay.
How did you get into when was the first time you felt confident about your skills, and how did you know, all right, now with these skills I want to get paid fairly? Like when was the first time you felt that?
So whenever I started working at Apple and doing like content for Katie, like the media side was kind of like like I wasn't charging a lot, I would say, like compared to now, just because like I wasn't like super confident in it. Like I was like, I still have a bunch of room to grow and what I need to improve on. So that was cool. So I did basically like Apple and Katie for like 2 years straight, and then I quit Apple January 2022. And I was like, I wanted to just like experiment, like let's see how this next year goes if I just full deep dive into full time.
You got to pay rent as well and bills and all that stuff, right?
And so like that's whenever I was like, okay, shoot, now like I have this reputation, I have like a solid portfolio to get more clients and charge what I'm worth,
That's how you felt.
And that's whenever I was like, okay, screw it, let's go in. And that whole year that I like committed to doing that, like my life changed.
Like that. Yeah. What about you, Rusty?
I mean, there's an element where comparison is a thief of joy, right? So again, if I try to be Andy, I'm just gonna be.
You're not gonna be me.
I'm gonna feel bad about myself. But on the other hand, sometimes I think comparison can help, because that moment for me was I found out I had a client who was spending $4,000 a month for a big agency to make 6 short form videos for them. So 6 reels, like 30-second reels with some emojis and some like quick transitions. $4,000.
That's how it
for
is.
6 reels.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, I can do better than that. Like, and the videos weren't good.
Yeah.
They were not good because the client was reading off of a script. The emojis were distracting. Like, it was highly produced, but they weren't showcasing my client in the best light.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, my client's cooler than this. They're smarter than this. Like, they are intelligent and well-spoken.
It's awesome.
And that was the moment that I was like, oh shit, like I can help my client show up authentically in a way that people are going to actually want to hire them. And then I was like, hey, I could do a lot more videos for a lot less money, and it would still be great money for me.
Yeah. Light bulb moment.
And okay, so going on to my next question. What was like the hardest thing when starting your business? And was it like the day-to-day business operations, or was it building these relationships with these people?
I don't think either one of those was the hardest part for me, partially because, like, I came with a business background. So I had built a very successful real estate business that was making 6 figures. So I knew how to do taxes. I knew how to manage payroll. I knew how to set it up as an LLC and then an S Corp to save $5,000 to $6,000 on taxes every year. And then the day-to-day operations, you start out, you don't start out at 60 miles an hour. So you kind of build up to it. You start out like, I got one client. I'm just gonna do everything I can for that client. I think the hardest part for me was building the systems and processes that help me have the boundaries and then holding to those boundaries. So the thing is, you get a lot of success and then more and more people want to work with you, but those people might not be the right clients for you. And so there's this temptation to be like, oh man, well shit, like they got like a big following. They got a
big budget.
Yeah, they got a big budget, or
vice versa, big following, no budget.
Yeah, big following, no budget, and like the exposure and you like, you
never work for exposure, just so you
don't
know.
do it.
All
Don't
creatives.
get paid, get a contract.
I'll pay you with exposure.
No. And
all to the people that are pitching that bullshit, like
y'all cut it out.
Yeah, y'all gotta stop, bro.
We don't
like,
want it.
respect
I don't
us.
even get how someone has the audacity to do that. Like,
But
don't you
when
feel,
you're
don't you feel
hungry,
icky
when you're
when you do
hungry
that?
and you're starting out, like you will take those jobs, but like really quickly you realize like, oh, this is not gonna pay my
but
mortgage.
if it's like you're reaching out to a videographer and you're like pitching a collab or like something for free, like at least respect their creativity and not boss them around and tell them like exactly what you want, like if you were hiring them for the job,
100%.
like yeah. And so that's what, like, one of the things that I learned this year of full-time filmmaking was like, I was saying yes to a lot of stuff just because I was like, oh, I want to go 60 miles per hour, build my name and stuff like that. But then I started figuring out like Rusty said, like systems and processes and boundaries and stuff like that. And then like nowadays it's like I pick and choose. Like it's been a big blessing to like build a solid portfolio. So like I can pick and choose and people will respect, like my price sheet and stuff like that. But back whenever I was like starting off, like one of the most like mental things was like people lowballing or like, like just like, not appreciating the work or whatever. And that's one of the things that like most creatives, not just like videography or photography or like even artists, like everybody is just like, like they really don't get respected, in this field whenever literally everybody needs us.
Yeah. I think, I think also because like they don't know the business side of things. Yeah. So they disrespect themselves because they think, oh, I'm just going to charge this just because I want to work with them, and they know nothing about business.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's
you put yourself in that situation and they're taking advantage of you because they are.
Yeah. I mean, but also like sometimes like it's necessary to do those types of, cheap work or videos whenever like the relationship will go further. I've done like plenty of like
Same
free
here.
videos and stuff like that, and it's just like
Boom.
Like it's the connections you make, the relationships that you build, like
You also got to pick the right people to work with.
That's the thing, and you have to have the courage to say no when you're like, no, this isn't the right fit. I don't care how much money, or I don't care. I mean, I have clients that are like very influential and they just want a videographer. They don't care that it's me.
Yeah.
And I'm at a place, thankfully, now where all my clients like want me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And what I'm offering, not just my camera. And that's, I think, the distinction.
I hate when people like the videographer. You're right about that. It's like, if you just need a videographer, like you could always find someone that can just shoot and post up with a camera, or you can just find an editor on Fiverr.
Yeah.
But like, I like that you said that you have relationships where they want Rusty. That's dope.
They want the expertise, and like, let's say like I hand somebody like, people ask like, oh, what camera you use, blah blah blah. Like, okay, if I give you my camera right now, do you know how to set your white balance? Do you know how to set the right aperture, blah blah blah. Like, being a videographer, you're like, it's not just being a videographer. Like, you got to know your camera, you got to know lighting, you got to know audio, you got to know editing, you got to know direction. You're wearing multiple hats, you know, like, and people think that
when you're on your own,
you're wearing, but like, no, like if I'm shooting for a client, like
you're doing all those things at one
you're
time.
doing all those things at one time, and you know, like, just like you, like setting up this podcast, like, you know exactly what you need to do, you know, and make it efficient, you know, and so you're not like, we charge by the hour, you know, like I charge by the hour, and like, and the thing is like, I know I can get it done because I'm efficient at it, but why should I be punished if I'm going to take longer? Like, what, like, if I'm charging by the hour, like, and it takes me 30 minutes to set up, I'm going to take my sweet time, right, and get more money. But no, I value like my relationship with them. I want them to get in and out quick, you know, and get high quality product. But sometimes it's just like, you know, people don't really see the necessary work to make a great video. You can shoot for 1 hour, but you're editing for at least 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You know, 100%. Especially if you're doing events, you know, like if you're doing events and you're covering something for like 3-4 hours,
100%.
You know, that you're times 4 that whenever you're like editing, you know, so.
Hey, what's your process? Like, you find a new client. Take me through that process. Like, hey, I want a video, Rusty. Hey, I want a video, Andy.
So for me,
let's do it right now. Hey, Rusty, I want a video.
First off, you're not going to call me. Everyone's going to go through like my website. So I have a website with a CRM that's built up so that if they can submit an inquiry, they have to schedule a consultation before we put anything on the calendar. I don't care how big or famous or popular you are. You have to have a consultation. You have to go through my process because I want to know exactly what the project is. I don't charge hourly. I charge flat rate fees based off of the project, and I give you a quote up front. And if I misquote, that's on me. But so you have a consultation. We'll get on a Zoom. One, I want to figure out, do I like you? Do you respect me? Or is this going to be a partnership? And so we do that collaboration. I figure out exactly what it is that they need, when they need it, what the timeline is, all of that. If it sounds like it's a project I want to take on, I give them a price. If they agree, we have a production agreement that's drawn up that my attorneys have custom drafted.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And super official, by the way.
And it's just there's two.
I read it word for word.
It is. I mean, like,
copy and paste it on your.
Just protect myself to protect them. I really fight to make that contract equitable for both me and my clients.
Is that for every video project you use?
Yeah. If I get paid for anything,
you use the same contract.
It's customized. There's some customization, and I have a couple of things. I have a handful of contracts. Awesome. But so we signed a production agreement. They're going to pay a retainer up front, 50%. Non-refundable retainer, and then I will pay at delivery. They'll pay the rest at delivery.
That's awesome.
So they go through the whole
per month, right?
process.
Per month or like per 6 months?
Per project.
Oh, per project.
No, I don't have any subscription stuff. So I don't care if you work with me 5 times in a month. You're going to find out. You're going to sign and pay for a different production agreement for every project.
That's awesome. Damn, that's awesome. My next question is, do you always send out contracts for every project you do?
I mean, yes, I do.
Okay, cool.
And I think, and this comes from real estate, right? Yeah. So in real estate, you're going to sell in a house for hundreds of thousands of dollars without a contract in place. That's true. Because if something goes wrong, like, what are you going to do? Okay, and how often does that happen with videographers where it's like the client doesn't show? Or they change their mind, or they're going to reschedule 4 times. I mean, I've seen stories of his like driving across town because there was some bad communication.
I've seen that. Your story.
And like the contract.
You know who you are. You know, like when that happened, my mind was like, should I call them out and ruin their life?
No.
And ruin their business reputation? Or should I be the bigger person and just take it on the chin, charge it to the game, and then have a better attitude? And then I posted that, and it's just like, you know, you get respect from that. But like, there's been plenty of those situations where it's like messed up and people, you know, like flake and stuff like that. And, you know, like, it is what it is. But, you know, I'm slowly, like, this is my first year. I didn't come from any type of business background where I had to draft up like a contract or anything. Like, I would say like nowadays, like this year, I took a different, like, more approach to, you know, being more professional and like, you know, rebranding and structuring and stuff like that based on the advice that Rusty gives me. And pretty much like, you know, like any type of like big contract thing where it obviously like I want to get to a point where I had to send out a contract for every single thing, but you know, like there's just some opportunities where you're just like spur the moment and like screw it, like I'll
Yeah, I mean, I probably made $60,000, maybe $80,000 before I sent out a contract for video work.
For real?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like that was because when I was starting out, that was my side gig. I was doing real estate.
Oh, yeah,
and then that was my side gig. So it was just all handshake agreements. Thankfully, most of those were with people that I highly trust and have good working relationships with.
Yeah.
And then if anything did go sideways, like again, I just have to eat it.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, that's a lesson learned.
And so this is perfect. How do you find new clients? This is going to be my last question, and then I'm going to go into like rapid fire.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, so how do you find new clients? Because that's the biggest thing I struggle with in my business.
Yeah.
Where are these people? Like
Okay,
for me, I'm like,
so
where are these
if you
guys
think
at?
about, let's
We're in
just,
different places. I mean,
How-
and I mean,
what's the
like, you and I versus you
Yeah.
is in
Alright,
a different place. Go ahead.
What's the population of Houston?
I don't know, but I know there's 50,000 realtors
Okay.
in Houston.
Okay, let's
I would
just
say like 2 million.
2 million, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I struggle just handling 10 clients a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like there's plenty of room to do it, plenty of room to like grow. And it all really comes down to what everybody is trying to do, and what is that marketing, right? Like that's what all social media is for these businesses,
Yeah.
is marketing, right?
Yeah.
You want them to come in, right? So there's a saying that I live by. It says closed mouths don't get fed. You know, if you're not reaching out, if you like, think about it. Like if you were a realtor back in the day and you go door knocking, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to want to door knock on 50 people's homes? Or would you rather sit on your couch and DM and send emails to 50 clients?
Sit on my couch.
And would
Exactly.
you rather someone come knock on your door, or would you rather someone DM you? I
Yeah.
get so mad when people knock
Yeah.
on my
And
door.
what's y'all's strategy like online? Like y'all use Sales Navigator on LinkedIn? What do y'all do? What do
So
y'all,
literally,
what's y'all
like
strategy?
the only social media I have is like my Instagram, and like I've been
Cold
like,
DMs?
So like whenever I started working with Katie and you know like build that reputation, she was like basically my only client. You know, that I wasn't trying to reach out. I wasn't like, I couldn't fit anybody else in my schedule. It was just like here and there like events or birthday parties that I would be able to do sometimes. But then like I once I started like doing quality work for Katie, you know, like she has that reach. I attribute a lot of my success to
awesome.
her reach,
Yeah, she's
and her consistency. And so whenever I left and, you know, went full time, like there were already people kind of like been on my queue list of like to hit up. And then I'm like, just kind of like tell them, hey, what I can provide for them monthly, and, you know, get some retainers under contract. And then that's when I was like, okay, cool. Like now I have like a set amount that I will guarantee get paid per month. And that's why I was comfortable of leaving Apple, because I was like, I don't need Apple anymore.
Yeah.
You already had a pay.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear you saying like, how are you hunting? And I don't think either one of us hunt.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, there's the thing. There are clients that I will reach out to and say, hey, I want to work with, but they're not people that I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to build that personal relationship first of mutual respect, and they know me. And there, certainly are people that I've reached out to that I said, hey, I love what you're doing, and we know each other because we've been friends on Instagram or whatever for a while. So if you ever need video, like
Yeah.
I'm
the guy.
I want to be the one.
Yeah.
And I've converted like 3 or 4 of those.
That's
But I think our method was, we found one good client. We went all in and we said, we're going to be here for you.
Yeah.
And then we allowed that momentum to like, would pick up a couple more clients there. And then your reputation brings clients to you.
Yeah, nowadays
So
it's all word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like they come onto our page, or like they see our work and they're like, oh, who did this? And they come on their page.
That's right.
And then they see
Every
all
day.
the quality
Then
of
boom,
work.
boom,
Then
boom.
they're gonna reach out. You know, like
You gotta be
we-
making
we-
stuff.
We don't chase, we attract.
I mean, the business term for it would be inbound marketing.
Yeah.
Is we're doing inbound marketing versus like
Outbound.
external sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like what would be beneficial like in the future is like, you know, like get on more of a team basis and get more content creators to get together. You know,
Oh,
so
dude,
people don't
I
have
struggle to
be,
find people like
yeah, like
content
people
creator.
like it's hard to find people.
Yeah.
And that you trust and see their quality of work already, but like it's better if you can get a collective or a team and like already like expect, you know, like
100%.
quality work.
Let's get into rapid fire. 5 minutes, 5
Okay.
questions. Okay. Cool. First question is, do you ever feel like you can be an influencer?
Yes.
We edit videos and we know how to make dope content, but sometimes I look at my phone, I'm like, damn, I can do that, but I'm making someone else an influencer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still feel like I'm an influencer. I mean, I'm influencing the game for sure. I'm influencing the market. And while I'm not trying to like sell products or whatever, I mean, I've got my own brand, Houston made, et cetera. So I don't think I can be. I think I am. It's just maybe not in the way that it's typically done.
I see what you're saying.
I think you too.
I feel like influencer is such a like a
Yeah.
big
I don't like
thing.
using the word, but it's like the word.
Yeah. So like, I guess like whenever people think of like traditional influencers, like, oh, like them showing off what they're doing, what they're, you know, they're trying to sell. So like, I feel like I'm an influencer in a way where it's like I post like gym's content and consistency. People have messaged me like, yo, like you inspired me to do this. I was like, which I thought was cool. Like, you know, I didn't realize that I was doing that just by doing that.
I mean, you guys inspire me, and I see y'all. I'm like, damn, that makes me push more.
I post,
Good.
like, behind the scenes of like, you know, doing my work, and it's just like maybe
that's dope.
Inspire somebody to, you know, pick up a camera, and like I have people like hit me up all the time, like what camera you use, blah blah, asking for advice, and it's like I'm always like down to like help out and stuff like that.
I asked him for advice.
Yeah,
I saw his content. I was like, yo,
stuff is like free game that you can find on YouTube. You just gotta look for it, but you know, like I don't mind helping out like other people, you know, progress in their career.
What's your daily routine?
Wake up, answer some emails, take my kid to school. My day starts at like 10 a.m. I'm late because I got family and stuff. And then every day is different, dude. Like I got content days and I've got meetings. I'm trying to open a studio, and we're flying around doing all kinds of stuff, man. So it's different every day. It's hard to say, but I run every day. I'm on today will be 106 days straight of running every day. Thanks.
Awesome.
Let's go.
But anyway, that's it. You have a routine?
Wake up,
creativity,
and then you know, I meditate for 5 hours, and then I
imagine.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But
that's that YouTube live.
Yeah.
Right?
Wake up, like take 10 hours to make my bed, like these people.
Yeah.
First thing like I've been trying to do is like go start the day with the gym. You know, work out for like an hour and a half. You know, set my mind right. You know, during that time is like, okay, like let's get ready for the day. And then you conquer that win, you know, it sets the tone for the day. Like Rusty said, we have different kind of like schedules. I try to schedule like stacked shoots like 3-4 times a week. And then I have the other days where I'm at home chilling or going to the library and editing. And
that's awesome.
Pretty much it's just kind of like a lot of free time. But you know, like you're working, but on your own time and in the comfort of your own home sometimes. But
last question.
Pretty much of the day.
Sorry. Last question. What's one piece of advice that you could give to another video marketer looking to do this full time? I don't like saying videographer, so I say video marketer.
Video marketer, that's fine. My piece of advice is surround yourself with people who are doing it. Surround yourself with successful people in any industry, an industry that you're specifically interested in, and learn as much about business as you possibly can.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You?
I would say if you're looking to get into this field, just make sure like you do your research and, you know, you're willing to invest in progressing your career, because a lot of people see like the cost of these cameras, like they want to start off with like all these $1,000 cameras and stuff like that without knowing the basics of just video in general. You can do so much stuff on your phone. I would say like if you can master, you know, CapCut and your phone, then you're ready to
set.
like invest into like more camera gear. But just make sure you like absolutely love what you're doing, because like it can get very, you know, challenging sometimes. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't look at what other people are doing and being like, oh, like use it as inspiration, but don't ever compare your stuff to anybody else, because you're not going to be happy.
Appreciate it.
And I've done that multiple times, so I can speak on that myself. And that's kind of like just how social media is. Like a lot of people like not just like this, but like beauty, like imaging and like, you know, body positivity and stuff like that. Like just don't ever compare yourself to anybody else, because, you know, like you're living your own life. You know, you're doing everything for yourself. You're not living for anybody else.
Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all for coming on. Thank you, Rusty.
Dude, absolutely.
Thank you, brother.
Pleasure.
We need to do this for 3 hours next time. Next time, running out the place 3 hours.
Bring us back.
Man. Okay. All right, guys. Peace out. Boom.
Peace.